Hey. Hey, everyone. Hey, Luis. Hey, Andrei. Hey, Josh. Happy New Year. 2000.
Very happy New Year.
And
Very happy New Year.
2026. Let that sink for a moment. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Time flies. That's crazy.
But also,
and
we've got a new character on the show. Who's this person with the green glasses? I can't recognize this guy. Wow.
I'm coming from the future, but the future is now. So we are now in 2026.
It's our hero.
Agents, the year of Warden.
It's our new hero.
It is.
2026 and episode number 6 as well. We're starting off this year strong. And as I always say, new year, say me, because since when I was the problem, And the same I would say about Warden. I wish Warden would be the same and even better. And we know that will happen. And the same, in terms of having millions and millions of users, launching new agents, new apps, working with new projects. And I know that's going to happen. So do you and the team, do you have high hopes for 2026 overall?
We have to, right? we are relentlessly bullish and optimistic, I think. And we did we'll talk about it a bit later, right? But we did the 2025 Wrapped post.
Yeah.
And that for us was
epic.
Well, for me, right, that was sobering, just seeing the stats coming out of different bits of the company, right? So whether it was user adoption, user metrics, the amount that the engineering team had shipped, how can you not be optimistic? Because it's just such an incredible year. And we are at this kind of inflection point. We are at the point where all of that hard work is starting to show and people are realizing, wow, there really is something here that's unique. But just from an organization perspective, if we look at what we've achieved, and maybe Andrei, you called out the numbers on that last week. It's bonkers. The amount that we've shipped, the amount of code that's been committed, the amount of releases that we did in Q4. Maybe call that out for a second, because I think it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was staggering. Actually, we didn't realize at what level of consistency we were able to reach until we looked at it at the end of the year. In fact, it was so deep in all the work that we did that we didn't stop to look at our release schedule, all the wins that we had along the way, right? So I think, with our proven track record of being able to consistently delivering, like the numbers speak for themselves. One release every 2.5 days. It's like we've managed to build a solid foundation on top of which we can now add a lot of interesting new features. So I'm super proud of the team. It's been an amazing year with its own challenges, but being able to overcome them every week, I think, it it reassures me that we're on the right track and we can do even better next year. Or actually this year now, right?
It's like when you are working in a super focused mode and you don't realize how much work you've done until you zoom out and actually take a look at it. And numbers always speak for themselves, and people love numbers. That's clear.
That's right, Yuli. That's right. And I think it's also maybe something, it's kind of like a side effect of what happens when you work on things that you really enjoy working on, right? That are really passionate, where you lose track of time and you lose track of everything that happens in the world, right? You're just too focused on building the things that you like to build.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's how it should be.
What do you think, Luis? What do you think? What's your view on 2026?
I mean, reflecting back on what Andrei just said, I mean, I think everyone can actually look at that in a tangible way, or they've been using the products, right? They've been seeing the updates. I mean, we talk all about these commits on GitHub, all of the code that has been shipped, but people actually use, test, felt those updates coming every single week. This is not a one-stop show type of testnet product. I mean, we've been relentlessly shipping. I think that's proven out there with the traction that we've got and how products evolve, update, upgrade themselves, get better every week, especially with the feedback that we get from everyone. So that's on that part. I think we've been proving out there to the wider community that Warden is not just like a one-hit wonder. We launched a copilot back in June, and that's it. It has been evolving into this kind of agentic wallet that we have today, the kind of everything app that is one of the big narratives I think it's coming for 2026. We said 2024 was the year of stupid AI agents, these social ones, which had verborea on X. They didn't do nothing else. They just spit things out there. People got excited, but actually they realized there wasn't like meeting the bone with that one. 2025 was the year of, okay, we start experimenting with these agents doing more things. And now 2026 is when I think it gets the real traction. And when I mean the real traction is when people start realizing that using applications that take advantage of these agent frameworks, agents that can live on chain, interconnect with each other to exchange services, payments, etc. Users will feel the advantage of that without even realizing. That's where I think it's getting for this year. People will not even know they are using AI. Things will get done. Things will get solved. Yield will be generated for your assets without you even knowing how it's happening. And those things, I think it's where we are heading and where it's like super cool. And I can't feel nothing else than ultra bullish for what's coming, especially the beginning of the year. I mean, like we've got a huge pipeline of things for this month, I think, and everyone should be very, very excited right now.
Yeah, maybe on that note, Yuli, what do you think if we jump off into some predictions for next year? So we're kind of talking about it already. What do you think if we get into the meat of it? Yeah, should we do it?
Would love to. I love some predictions.
Who doesn't love a good ominous music? No pressure at all. Producer, if you bring up my screen, I am going to run through some 2026 predictions. Some might be controversial. I hope not. But let's see. There we go. All right. Haters are going to say that's AI. That might have been me birthday party earlier in the year. Who knows? Who knows? You be the judge of it. All right. Let's predict.
I hope they are not scary.
No comment. No comment. So the first prediction is the takeover has already started. Exactly what you said, Luis. The year in 2024 was full of chatbots that spewed verbal diarrhea all over X. It was horrible. Everyone's now seen through these agents. 2025, we built a bunch of infrastructure from all corners of the agent ecosystem. 2026 is the year when agents actually do things for users, and users value those services. So I predict that about 10% of DeFi is going to be run by agents. So it's going to start slowly, but all of a sudden it's going to happen. And as a user, you realize that the experience is just much smoother. It's more automatic. It's not manual. So it's going to be something that you do once and you continue to do forever. So I think 10% is that threshold. And we're going to see these agents executing strategies autonomously, just doing things in the background without human intervention, which shifts the way that we use DeFi. Now we are the operators. We choose where capital goes, which protocol, which wallet you use, which cross-chain protocol we execute to do that. Forget all of that. We're going to move into this world where humans move from the operators to become the supervisors. So the fundamental roles in Web3 are going to change consistently. What do you guys think?
The thing that I'm most excited about is this autonomous agent workflow. Basically, if you think about today, humans, like, we're meat and bone, right? We're flesh. We need to eat. We need to sleep. We cannot be online 100% of the time, right? Agents can, right? The problem with FOMO is that we're missing out on things that happen when we're not around, right? Agents, they don't suffer from this, right? They are always going to be there, always ready to jump on the next opportunity. So who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want to fix FOMO?
I mean, it's a 24/7 world, every single day, around the clock, 7 days a week, crypto's running. Who's got the time to be watching these things?
That happened too many times to
You're
all
asleep,
of us when we were sleeping, and then something happens.
It's crazy, Okay, second prediction, vibe coding. We are all in Warden vibe coders to some degree. We've all played and experimented to varying degrees of success, but I would say overwhelmingly, it's been a positive experience for us. My prediction is that vibe coding, for better or for worse, because crypto is a funny little world, right? Vibe coding is going to proliferate in the space, and we're going to see whether it's smart contracts, whether it's apps, whether it's strategies, vibe coded up by people and let loose, which has its own pitfalls, may I say, right? But vibe coding is real and it's here to stay, and it's going to become something that's much more present in crypto.
I'm sure it's gonna happen. It looks like it's not just in crypto, it's like going mainstream overall. So I have no doubt about that.
It is happening today. I mean, it's happening all over the place. And it's
I want to learn that too.
You absolutely can. That's the cool thing about it, is like it democratizes coding for everybody, right? Not just for engineers, for software developers, for everybody. And maybe we need to move away from the vibe coding metaphor into something new, because I feel like vibe coding has sort of a bad connotation to it due to the quality of the tools of the models that we used to have in the beginning when this term was coined. I think we need to move into something like AI driven development or something like this, because it's we're at the point where the threshold where it's so good that there's less and less supervision that is required for it, right? To provide quality results. So yeah, definitely a huge trend that's going to continue into 2026.
Bring it on. All right. So trading, something I think that is near and dear to our hearts. We released the AI trading terminal, nearly a month and a half ago at this point, where we signals into the trading interface. The next iteration of that are automations. So my prediction is that trading will get a co-pilot, and that will make the trading experience for any retail trader 10 times easier, 10 times better. Luis, we've spoken about this a ton. What is needed to make trading easy and mainstream? And I think it's the Copilot.
I think over the first half of the year, we will see these copilots thriving on a lot of the exchanges, a lot of, let's say, different front ends with agents, or even abstracting the front ends of some of these trading terminals or decentralized exchanges, the perps, prediction markets. I mean, probably we start seeing how these get completely abstracted, the trading experience. Copilot, I see it first half of the year, but then I see not even Copilot. I see it like fully automated. Like you don't even need to access. Like, hey, my risk tolerance is X or Y, or my risk appetite. Here are my funds. Stay in that range of BTC, ETH, Solana, Ward token. Those are the ones I want to trade. Go and do it for me. Go and protect my positions. Go and hedge when it's needed. Get profits when you feel it's necessary. I think that's the way we will see it at the end of the year. And that's actually what's going to power this next thing. And all of those things combined, creating this type of agentic wallet, super apps, where users can ditch their neobanks, can ditch their exchanges, can ditch all of these different apps and stay with one that manages everything.
If you step back and think about what we do as an organization when we manage our treasury, we're manually looking at yield opportunities. You know, the risk profile for them has to be super safe, super low risk. They have to be USDC denominated or USDT. We go and we manually look at 30, 40, 50 different vaults, and we assess them and we figure out, right, which of these are we going to allocate into? That's mad. That's absolutely bonkers in terms of a workflow. So yield farming is going to benefit from this, as you said, Luis, automation, just making things simple and easy. You set the risk that you want and you get it. And that is massively exciting, I think, because it makes the whole yield environment much more accessible, which, if we're honest right now, it's not. It's mega fragmented. Okay, trust. So with this proliferation of agents that we think is going to happen, there are risks with this, right? How do you know that the agent is acting on your interests, your best interests? How do you know that it is doing what you think it should be doing? How do you know it's using the right model? How do you know that model hasn't been tampered with and there's some kind of malicious instruction that's been implemented into this workflow? So I think next year, and we spoke about it, you know, earlier in the year, verification is important, but no one really understands how important trust and verification become guardrails for agents until something bad happens. And something bad will inevitably happen with any new technology. And so this will bring this to the forefront. And we've been thinking about guardrails a lot, right? And I think it's something that this year it's going to come into its own.
Yeah, it's, you know, we talk about agents being able to trade for us. We talk about giving them access to wallets, to funds. We need to talk about the big asterisk here, right? The big footnote, which is reputation, trust, being able to, like, if you think about it, in fact, these things, we've seen them in the past, right? We've seen app stores being launched, users, you know, trying all kinds of apps, and, you know, some are working pretty well. They do their job, but some are really bad and with a lot of security issues. So I think, like, I'm less concerned about this particular topic because I feel like in general, people have a way to flag, to keep an eye on reputable applications and share those. So there's going to be a network effect for the most successful apps where word of mouth is going to be a big factor. And, you know, I think people will compete, companies will compete on not just providing the best UX, the best tool, but also on reputation, right? Who has the best reputation
verifying that
in the ecosystem. Yeah. And people will be the ultimate verifiers.
They will. And I think what will help that is the adoption of a reputation system for agents. And that's something that we're very much active in. You, particular Andrei, have been extremely active and at the forefront of this topic, both at Warden as well as in the community. This, I think, becomes more important when agents start transacting with each other. How do they choose, unless they've got whitelists, endless whitelists of approved agents they can speak with? But how do they then interact with an agent that does a certain task without knowing how reputable that agent is? So ERC 8004 is massively beneficial for that.
Yes.
But we're still quite far off that world where agents make those completely autonomous decisions, right? But nonetheless, this is important.
One day.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to skip that one because we've talked about it. DeFi becomes invisible. DeFi is growing in size every single day. Protocols, tokens, apps. How on earth do you as a user keep track of it? Well, you shouldn't have to. Let agents abstract the complexity for you. You just say what you want and the agent goes and figures out how to do that for you. So I think this year, abstractions, DeFi powered abstractions are going to be driving a lot of the activity if apps can embed them in smart ways that make the UX beautifully simple. That's a challenge for everybody. But I think, seeing the way that Binance, Coinbase, some of the largest, most complex apps in the space are thinking about this, they're all thinking about abstracting away complexity. And I think it's going to be DeFi that's going to be pushing a lot of those boundaries.
Yeah, so because complexity is what scares users. Sorry.
Users get scared about how difficult it is to start with, right? Like, and back in the day, last year, we were bringing out loud this motto of blockchains are not for humans. And I think it's real. I mean, like, blockchains are difficult, and especially, I mean, at the beginning, there were a couple of blockchains, but now there are like hundreds and thousands of blockchains out there.
Yes.
As a user, you need to check protocols, dApps, wallets, gas tokens, bridging. I mean, it's a very complex thing to start becoming an active user if you are not like studying carefully all of these things, spending a lot of time. So abstracting all of that complexity and just getting the benefits out of it, I think it's the way it will be moving forward. And again, it's the same narrative we've been sharing in basically most of the slides today that you've been showing here, Josh. It's the trend. AI will abstract the complexity and will abstract everything, like the application layer. Like all of those things will completely get abstracted and agnostic for the user. They will only need to go in, deposit with fiat, with a card or whatever, start taking the advantages of it.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Beautiful.
Okay, final two predictions. So prediction number 9, enterprise is coming, but it will come last. So all these primitives we're building, whether that's, for example, protocols bringing inferences on chain, verification systems, swarms of agents, enterprises ain't going to use them right now, but they will at some point because they will see the beneficial qualities that some of these solutions have, and they will come in scale. So they will use them at scale in a way that retail users can't. So I think it will start to show slowly but steadily that enterprise adoption in crypto AI is real and it is coming, but it will take time. It'll take time. Final prediction markets. Now, slightly obvious. I'm predicting the glaringly obvious here that prediction markets are going to be bigger and better than they already are right now. But I think that AI will play a part in them, whether that is the curation of the markets, whether that's the way that the markets get created, or even from a user perspective, the way that you can do a bit of research before you make that prediction. So you can predict with a little bit of alpha in your back pocket. And that's something that we've been thinking about. So maybe two little nuggets of alpha for the community. Prediction markets matter, and they will be available in Warden in a quite unique way very, very soon. And secondly, the way that you interact with prediction markets within Warden will be very, very different. So you won't be doing it in a dumb way. You'll be doing it in a slightly smarter way. Anything you think I'm missing, guys?
They need to be fun as well, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem with prediction markets. They look like regular financial markets, right?
Most of them, yes.
Like we've seen this with Betflix, right? Betflix has seen a lot of success just because of how easy, intuitive it is. And if you think about it, in fact, it's quite a lot like a prediction market, right? You're betting on the price evolution, right? In the future. So like we need to think more about that and less about, okay, how do we do the same things that everybody else is doing just so that we can fail as miserably as everybody else, right? So
the thing there is the traditional trading interface that most of these prediction markets have today, I think will be very good, I don't know, for hedging commodities or insurance or all of these things that can serve a financial purpose. But for the regular user and the actual use cases that we are seeing today, which are actually bets, that traditional exchange trading view doesn't make a lot of sense. I think a twist in the user experience should happen, and I think Betflix is leading there on a different approach, and the numbers clearly demonstrate that it is working.
And it's fun.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. It's chill for a user as well. Makes you unwind.
Yeah.
Depends if you're winning or losing. But yes.
Oh.
I have one final prediction. You haven't put, Josh, for 2026. I've seen people saying Ward will not come in 2026, will come in 2027. What do you think? What do you really think there?
I mean, look, if you have such little faith, you get what you deserve, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been working hard on this for nearly 2 years now. And one of the design decisions we made was we will do our token at the right moment, when adoption is so blindingly obvious that you can't ignore Warden any longer. And if you think 6 months ago, with just all this massive noise and froth from all of these projects, being polite, projects that promised a lot and delivered absolutely nothing, we wanted to differentiate ourselves against that. So 2026 is going to be the year where a lot happens. And I mean, come on, you've got to be bullish about Warden and Warden at this point, right?
You've got to word up.
Word up. I predict it's going to happen sooner than later. So
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Well, those are the predictions, guys. We're going to revisit these probably same time next year, and let's see where we stack up on these predictions.
Exciting! Oh my god, that's so exciting. And I have a kind of fun question for all of you. So, if you could describe 2025 as a year for Warden, in just using just one word, what would that be?
Foundations.
Ooh.
Next.
Adoption.
Velocity.
Ooh, yeah. Put those three together. Sounds good.
Solid. Should be a new slogan for Warden. Would be nice to see different versions from our community members as well. So if you're watching this right now, comment your word of a year for Warden. And then another question, also, whoever can answer this. So for the last year, what was the most unexpected thing that happened? Like the most unexpected part of the journey? Who can start?
I know mine. I mean,
I know mine as well.
Mine is just
Ooh.
so obvious, I think, for our team, the amount of users that we onboarded. Like when we started the app, we said to ourselves, we'll be really happy with a couple of 100,000 users and 20,000 daily active users. Like, and that honestly, that for us is an incredible milestone alone. But we've 10 times that. And week on week, it started getting surreal when we started seeing the amount of users that were onboarding, because yes, we'd built our platform to be as resilient and as performant as we could, but we never thought that we would be seeing 2-4 million users a week using that platform. And they weren't just like logging on and disappearing to farm an airdrop. They were logging on, they were prompting, they were generating images, they were researching, they were swapping. That for me was mind-blowing. That was such a humbling but mind-blowing moment for us, because we'd built something that people will actually use and later in the year actually start paying for. And that was incredible. So that for me was the most unexpected moment of the year.
Wow. Andrei, what was yours?
Yeah, I have to echo what Josh said, because it's, like, we were giving ourselves this, in my opinion, in my experience, highly unreasonable targets for our user base that we blew past so quickly. And to me, in fact, my takeaway from this growth was especially the appetite that people have for better UX, right? As Liz mentioned it in the earlier, sorry, blockchain has a huge UX issue, right? We've managed to solve this in a way that makes it accessible for every user on the planet. It is, to me, it was clear that the problem was not with the technology itself. It was with how people use the technology, right? How difficult it is to just pick it up and use it. And we've proven,
how you present it.
Exactly. How you present it, and what ways do you give the users so that they can interact easily with the product and get to as quickly and painlessly as possible to the result that they wanted to achieve.
Yeah. Luis, do you have anything to add here?
So the thing is, I totally share. Like, when you ask this question, the first thing that came to my mind was like the number of users. But then I have two moments that were magical. One is also aligned to what Andrei said, and there was like this community member that shared Warden with her 6-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm not a big fan of putting screens onto like smaller kids, but seeing, without any experience about nothing at all, no computers, no previous software, definitely not blockchain, not Web3, no nothing. Being able to ask to the Warden agent, perform a swap, buy her first tokens, that was incredible to see. Like, that really shows how UX is clearly broken, and that there's a demand of creating new ways on how people can embrace this new finance world where we are in, which is the blockchain ecosystem. And then there was another one, which was, for me, the first time when we were building Warden the app. And we were testing for the very first time. And there were like no confirmations or anything. Like, hey, I want to swap my Solana for USDC in Solana, for example, right? And in 2 seconds, it was swapped. And you get a transaction hash. And it was like, whoa, what's happening here? And actually, all of that was happening on chain. It's not like on a centralized exchange or whatever, where you can get that type of swap me experience. It was magical to see. I didn't have to connect my wallet. I didn't have to click on the allowance. I didn't have to do all of these permission things that you have when you go into a decentralized exchange, all by using natural language instantly and fast. And then we had to add confirmations because users are not really yet ready, probably, to having that type of experience of things happening instantly. But the good thing for me was seeing that that's possible. It was a magical moment. It changed my perception on how things worked. And I've been all my life chasing like this self-custodial type of experience, which was very difficult before. And now we have it. We have that simplicity, but at the same time, self-custodial. And that's why I believe that agents will change the way everything we do. I mean, that was on a swap, but I can give you a million of examples of what's coming this year.
Oh, you want to tease us with something?
I mean, I can tell you one. We haven't released it yet, but last September we booked some Not holiday. Actually, it wasn't a holiday. It was a business trip for 2 days. Very, very, very busy. But we booked flights, hotels, everything just by using natural language. Also, hey, we want to go to this conference. Book us or give us options from my city, your city. We got the flights, we got the hotel, we got everything. And actually, we had a very, very good price, very good selection, very good option. So it was amazing to see how fast we solved that problem, which usually takes a lot of time for us.
So does that mean that we're going to see the travel agent soon?
We will, definitely.
Ooh, that's really exciting, because that's probably one of the most, like, at least for me, boring parts when you're planning a trip, and just like that moment when you have to choose the best price and like do the booking. And I don't know, I hate doing that personally. So
the best thing was
the
price was the best. We checked in many places. We couldn't believe it. Had an amazing price. I mean, the experience was the best thing. But having that experience and then having that great price was brutal.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Agents are really gonna do pretty much everything for us.
Yes.
And Andrei, I have a question for you. Like, you've been to the conferences this year as well, last year, representing Warden. And did you ever like caught yourself on a thought, or like in a moment when you would be talking about agents like you would be talking about people?
Yeah, all the time. It's actually one of the things that I mention often, even internally in the team, is that, like, my vision for 2026, in fact, is to reach this point where we can really start talking about an agentic economy, where you delegate tasks to your agents and they're your assistants. There's no distinction anymore. It's like, instead of typing to a real person and telling them, could you go and help me with this thing, you're just going to have an agent do it instead, right? You don't even know who's going to be on the other side of that chat message, right? And if they don't have, the thing that I'm most excited about, in fact, is that there will be times when your agent will not be able to fulfill your request because it doesn't have that skill, right? But it will be able to go and figure out what other agent in the world can help. And it will contract with it, it will pay it, it will fire it, it will work with it as if, it works with another human. And it's all going to be agentic.
Yes.
And it's like, at the same time, it's scary, right? We're going into a world that nobody has ever been to, and both exciting and scary at the same time.
Yes, let's just hope that we all will use it to our advantage, but like in a ecological way, without harming anyone or anything. I wish we could do that in a wise way. Yeah, when you think about it. And I also have a question for Luis. Maybe it's not just about Warden. I would say it's more like wider marketing related question. You are the mastermind behind the marketing strategy at Warden. So what do you think are going to be the next narratives in 2026 that will shape everything? Obviously, you have to build a good product first, and we already have this. So what would be the next?
Well, first of all, I'm not the mastermind. I mean, like, it's a group effort, and I think everyone is super involved. And now that you said, like, first of all, it's a good product. Like, product has helped a lot in all of that strategy. We've been, I mean, the way we build products is actually we try to create that absolute great user experience that will allow users to become recurrent users and active users, constantly coming back every single day, every single week, every single month, sharing with their friends, referring new people in. So that's been a massive part of the work that we've been doing before. Now we are getting into a tipping point, as you just mentioned, on the life cycle, let's say, of Warden. And we've been building all of this infrastructure. We've been building all of the application for the past 2 years. And now we are getting to the point where we get a token into the ecosystem. And the token will play a very important role. So we will continue shipping and delivering great products. But the next phase, I think, is there are a lot of products that will involve the token and that will play a very important part for token holders, stakers, and ecosystem participants. Like the way that you participate by staking your WAR token, contributing to the ecosystem will grant you, let's say, some special powers to continue to take advantage and benefit of being part of the Warden ecosystem. So there will be, and I cannot reveal now all of these things because this is something that's coming over the course of this month. But there are very exciting things coming for everyone, especially for the token holders. And I think that's going to be the centerpiece of everything for the next phase. Then there are a lot product-wise. We will be releasing our mobile applications, and I think that's going to be also a game changer. Like a lot of people want to take them on mobile, not on mobile, but when they are like walking around, when they are not inside of their computer is great. Actually, Warden works well on your mobile. You can even have a semi-native experience. You can install it on your home screen. It provides a decent experience, but we understand it's not the fully native experience that users want. So we will be pushing on that. And finally, there will be, there's going to be a massive change, which is today you've got this experience of having to talk to many different agents to perform different tasks. Now we are changing this architecture, and this is being a work that has been done over the past months, like very hard work from everyone in the team, all of the AI team, blockchain team, all working together. A lot of engineers putting a lot of effort and thoughts here on introducing the ways that agents coordinate between each other, the way guardrails can be implemented to perform and execute transactions securely for users. So all of these things have been working over the past months, and now they're going to start seeing the light on 2026. And that is going to be also a game changer and will make the stickiness of the product much stronger. And we believe that users will love what they see, and they will not only stay, but come and invite their friends, their family, becoming that everything app that we are actually building. The agentic wallet, as we call it, is going to be the next revolution for us.
That does sound exciting. I think you have big goals and big dreams overall for this year. So
we want to.
How about?
I can tell you, we want to. How do you say extinguish? Is this extinguish? Like most of I'm sorry for them, but most of the centralized platforms, dApps, etc. We don't want to extinguish them. Sorry. Let's change the phrase. We are going to abstract them. They will still get a lot of traction. They will still get a lot of activity. They will still get a lot of usage, but it will go through a different route. Like users will not have to go directly into those dApps. Those protocols and dApps will still take the benefit of it and the growth, but users will change radically the way they interact with them.
Yeah, I think one thing that does deserve extinction are dumb wallets. Like I ask this everywhere I go. I go to a conference or I speak somewhere and I say, put your hand up if you love your wallet. No one puts their hands up. Everyone hates their wallet. If you're honest, you hate your wallet. You're scared of it, or you're scared of what it can do to you. Everyone hates their wallets because the experience is just shit. You open this thing up, you have to add new RPCs to it when you have to add a new chain, or you realize that it's not compatible with this network that you want to access. Then there's no multi-factor authentication built into it, and there's no visibility of a certain NFT because it's a nightmare. So yeah, let's extinguish these wallets because they're crap, and let's upgrade into a new wallet environment that is smart and performant. And that is, I think, for us, one of the evolutions we've been realizing over the last couple of months, where this co-pilot we built, Warden, the Warden app, is actually an agentic wallet. And we should call it that because people need and want wallets, but they also want better wallets. They don't want to be using, and I'm sorry, MetaMask, they don't want to be using their legacy browser wallets because they've either been rugged by some kind of malicious contract or code that's got put on their laptop, or they just don't know how to use the thing. So let's extinguish dumb wallets in 2026 and let's move into much smarter agentic wallets that can do things for you. That for me would be an incredible milestone.
That's a great goal. That sounds like a great goal. So I guess we can wrap things up here, unless each of you want to share maybe another big goal for 2026. One goal from each of you.
I just want to actually say thank you. I want to say thank you to the community for everything that they've done for us in 2024 and 2025. 2025 was the year that we put rubber on the road. We started actually doing things, showing things, asking users to give us tangible feedback on products we built, and everybody stepped up and delivered. And those that have been with us since the early days, or those that are joining us in the latest season, it's a massive thanks from all of us for getting involved. Everyone's hard work, effort, conviction will be rewarded very soon. We're so grateful to all of them for joining us on this massive journey. And 2026 is going to be the year of Warden. Simple as that.
Beautiful. Andrei?
Yeah. I think 2025 has been a year where we've seen a lot of experimentation, a lot of, ideas coming out, and the community responding very positively to all those ideas. At the same time, it was a year that was full of challenges, right? I wouldn't say we had really oh shit moments. I think we had maybe, starting with the positive, I would say it was amazing to see all the potential in the things that we have built. And maybe then on the technical side, we had been very successful, which meant that we had to scale the infrastructure. We had to talk to our partners to get them to scale as well, because they were not expecting the amount of users that we were bringing in. But to be honest, I have to make a confession. Right now we have a big problem. The problem we have is that we're moving so fast that our bottlenecks are coming from the fact that our partners cannot keep up with all the requests that we have from them. And we've seen this over and over again. And it's like the biggest challenge right now in making this agentic future become reality is getting the partners to follow along, right? And we're so far ahead of everybody that it's a completely new field at this point. So both exciting, but both challenging at the same time, because we don't want to build this for ourselves. We want to build this for the world.
Yes.
So how do we bring the world to the table?
We will, for sure we will. And it's attention is what everybody is craving. It's in the human nature. That's true, Andrei. We never build or create things for just ourselves or just by ourselves. Yeah, Luis, do you have anything to add here?
I will only say thank you and wish everyone a great 2026. I will keep it short. It's going to be a great year, as just mentioned. Thank you, everyone. Massive support over the years. Now it's time to give back from our side. So looking forward for this massive year for us.
Sounds great. Let's cook, let's word up. let's word up and start the year strong.
Let's go.
Thank you.
It's going to be a good year. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh.
We wrap.
Thank you,
everyone.
Andrei. Thank you,
Wrap it.
Luis.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. See you in the next one.